The first thing that disappears isn't electricity, it's certainty. One morning, the news mentions a strange outbreak in a distant city. By afternoon, videos flood social media, people collapsing, convulsing, attacking strangers. By evening, networks stop using words like illness and start using words like incident. By night, the power flickers once, then twice, and suddenly everyone in your building is standing in hallways asking neighbors questions no one can answer. You don't panic at first. Civilization has trained you to believe someone is in control, that somewhere there are professionals handling the situation. You go to bed expecting things to make sense in the morning. They don't. Sirens never stop. Helicopters thud overhead until even the air feels nervous. Your phone stops receiving messages except for the emergency alert that repeats the same instruction over and over. Remain indoors. Then the internet dies, not gradually, instantly, as if someone unplugged the world. That's when fear stops being abstract. You look out your window and see people running, not orderly evacuations, not controlled movement, just raw animal urgency. A man trips and falls. In the street, the people behind him don't help him up. They run over him like water over a stone. Something is wrong in a way you've never seen before. You pack without thinking. Water bottles, canned food, a flashlight, a kitchen knife that suddenly feels laughably inadequate. Your hands shake not because you're scared, but because your brain is trying to process too much too fast. The elevator isn't working. You take the stairs. Halfway down, you hear a sound from below. Wet, uneven, like someone breathing through liquid. You freeze. Your instincts scream to go back, but the stairwell door above you slams open and more people flood in, pushing downward. There is no direction that feels safe anymore. On the ground floor, the lobby doors hang open. Outside, chaos has replaced traffic. Abandoned cars sit at angles across the road. Somewhere nearby, something crashes with a metallic echo. No police. No ambulances, no order. You see your first one less than 10 seconds later. At first, you'd think it's just an injured person. Blood covered. Their face, their clothes torn, movements jerky and wrong. Then they lift their head and you see the eyes unfocused, empty, like there's no one home behind them. They sprint toward the nearest person, not stumbling, not slow, fast, faster than panic. The screaming that follows isn't human in the way you remember. It's primal, stripped of language, pure, survival terror. You don't watch what happens next. Your body moves before your mind does, running blindly down a side street, lungs burning, legs threatening to collapse. You don't stop until the city noise fades into distant echoes. The first night alone is the hardest, not because of danger, because of silence, without traffic, electricity, or human routine. The world sounds enormous. Wind against buildings becomes a whispering crowd. Every creak feels intentional. Every distant thud feels like footsteps. You barricade yourself inside a small convenience store. After clearing it room by room, heart pounding so loudly you're sure anything outside can hear it. The shelves are mostly intact. Whoever owns the place probably fled early. You eat without tasting, drink without feeling thirsty. Your body is running on instinct alone. Sleep comes in fragments. Every time your eyes close, your brain jolts you awake, convinced you've missed something important. You dream of doors opening, of hands grabbing, of teeth too close to your face. Morning doesn't bring relief, it brings reality. Smoke rises from several parts of the city. No sirens, no planes overhead, no signs of organized response. Just a skyline that looks wounded. You venture outside carefully, learning the new rules by observation. Noise draws them. Movement catches their attention. Groups are more dangerous than individuals. Closed spaces are death traps unless you control the exits. You stop thinking in terms of comfort, only survival. Days blur together. Food becomes your primary objective, then water, then safer shelter. You learn to travel during daylight to avoid main roads, to listen more than you look. The infected aren't the only danger. Desperate survivors can be worse. Some will steal from you. Some will lie. Some will kill just to avoid competing for resources. You begin to understand something chilling. Civilization didn't collapse because of the infected. It collapsed because fear broke trust. Weeks later, you find others. A small group barricaded inside a school building. They don't open the door immediately. They watch you through a reinforced glass, weapons visible, suspicion stronger than hope. When they finally let you in, it feels less like rescue and more like probation. Everyone has lost something: a husband, a child, a parent, a friend who turned overnight into something unrecognizable. They share stories not to bond, but to confirm they're still human. Together, survival becomes easier but more complicated. Food runs out faster. Decisions require consensus. Risk becomes collective. You help fortify the building, organize the home, supply runs, establish watches at night. Structure returns in small ways: a rotation for cooking, a system for storing water, a plan for evacuation if the perimeter fails. For the first time since everything began, you feel something close to purpose. Then winter comes. Cold kills almost as efficiently as infection. Heating systems don't work. Pipes freeze. Snow hides movement and muffles sound, making every step uncertain. One by one, members of the group weaken from illness or exhaustion. The infected don't feel cold, which makes them even more dangerous. When the school's defenses finally fail during a blizzard night, it happens too fast to stop. A window breaks, then another. Panic fractures the group, people running in different directions, shouting over each other. You escape through a maintenance exit with two others. By morning, you are alone again. Years pass, though you stop counting. Your world shrinks to what you can see, carry, and defend. Cities become graveyards. Nature begins reclaiming roads, buildings, everything humanity built. With such certainty it would last forever. You become quieter, more efficient, less sentimental, but not empty. Every time you encounter another survivor, you still feel the flicker of hope before caution smothers it. Sometimes you trade supplies, sometimes you travel together for a while, sometimes you part ways without exchanging names. Trust becomes a temporary agreement, not a bond. One evening, you reach a hill overlooking a valley where smoke rises from multiple chimneys. Real smoke, controlled, intentional, a settlement, people. You approach slowly, hands visible, heart hammering in a way you haven't felt in years. Guards spot you before you reach the perimeter. Weapons trained, questions sharp, procedures practiced. They search you, evaluate you, decide. You're not an immediate threat. Inside, you see gardens, solar panels, children playing under watchful eyes, adults repairing tools instead of scavenging for them. Not survival, life. That night, sitting beside a controlled fire, you realize something unexpected. You didn't survive because you were the strongest, or the smartest, or the fastest. You survived because you refused to stop moving forward, even when forward meant crawling through fear, grief, and exhaustion. The apocalypse didn't end, but neither did humanity. And as you lie down under a roof that feels almost unreal after so many years of exposure, listening to distant voices instead of distant screams, one thought settles quietly in your mind. The world didn't end, it just changed. And somehow, you changed with it.